easy to fall for, and hard to let go. I just wanted you to need me more than you'll ever know. That's not how it's meant to be. Still this memory of you just won't leave. You were easy to fall for and hard to let go. So, Easy to Fall For is the third single off of my upcoming album, Stories from an Old Set of Strings. And I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite songs on the record. It's an interesting one because it was one of those things that, circled around in my head for a while, and I just kept thinking, this could be cool, it could be good, who knows, but then, I had a line, right? And that's pretty much what it was. It was a line that was easy to fall for, hard to let go. And that was it, right? I had that line stuck in my head, and I wrote it down. And see, what always happens with me, that when I start writing if I start writing a song and I write a line down and I think it's a good line, then it just kind of starts spinning around in my head and it won't let go, so to speak. But this was a different one. This was an interesting one because, I've been married happily to my wife for 10 years now. Marriage, mostly happily, right? But no, I've been, like, my wife and I've been together for a long time, and, and so it's not like I'm missing my old girlfriends or anything like that. But, the line came to me at one point, and when I stumbled upon a post from somebody. It was a girlfriend that I had, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, something like that. Well, actually, my wife and I have been together for 10 years. So this would have been 20 years, 20 years ago now, almost. And I came across her picture, and all of a sudden I was reminded of a conversation that she and I had after the breakup, after the I don't want to talk to you ever again, after the we got drinks again, the sat down for a first conversation. We were talking about our relationship, and it was, parts of it were awkward, sure, but I was talking to her and I said, listen, you were easy to fall for, right? And we kept going with the conversation, but that line, all of a sudden, when I came across this post, just hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I started thinking about, that could be an interesting one to explore. From a heartbreak perspective, something that we've all been through, we've all dealt with, right? We've all had those relationships that kind of shook us to our core, and really that were pretty profound, regardless of how long they lasted. And so this song is kind of what kind of came from that, and it was an interesting one to write because, like I said, I'm not pining for anybody from my past. I'm pretty happy with my life the way that it is right now, but I had to kind of put myself back into that position, right? I had to put myself back into that mindset. So it was an interesting process. It was an interesting experiment because, it was almost like revisiting myself from those days, right? From that time. And, kind of like going to see an old friend, somebody that you haven't seen in a while, and that they've been through some stuff and you're hoping that they're doing well, kind of a deal, that kind of a friend. It's kind of what it felt like, and so I remember, going through this process and thinking through, I'm like, okay, so in each verse of the song, there's the good part, the setup of the, hey, before you were here, I wasn't going to be in a relationship, and then you came in and changed everything for the better, and then all of a sudden everything changed for the worse, right? And that's kind of the arc of the song. And so I was thinking it was funny because for the good parts I was thinking about my relationship with my wife. Like when she and I got together, there was a time before you came around when it all seemed so simple, my life was so buttoned down. And you stole a glance and threw a wrench in my plans. That's all that sort of stuff was kind of building up this like, hey, this is happening and this is good. And then there's kind of that big reveal after in that first chorus where it's like, no, you were easy to fall for and you're hard to let go. And now you're realizing that, oh, this person lost this person, right? This is they're no longer together anymore, right? So it was a fun song to write because it was one of those, like I said, it was one of those ones where I got to revisit kind of a past life of mine, which I enjoy doing from time to time. The sting of nostalgia is something that fuels me a little bit as a songwriter for sure, but also just as a human, right? As a person, I like to look back on different points of my life and different aspects of my life, and the painful parts of my life and the joyful parts of my life and everything in between. And I like to, I enjoy, to an extent, I enjoy really diving into those areas, into those past pieces, because they're the things that shaped me to get me here, right? So it was so that song "Easy to Fall For" is that's kind of where that came from. That's the deal behind that song. And so, like I said, I really like it, and it's one of my favorite songs to sing. I just kind of like that easy to fall for, hard to let go. I just wanted you to need me more than you'll ever know. And I don't know, there's something, I feel like there's something smooth about it. I was talking to somebody about a Bruce Springsteen documentary, and where Bruce said that, after all the pain and all the torture of dealing with recording a song, writing a song, recording a song, once that song is recorded and it's out, we become as big of a fan of it as hopefully you do, right? And because this is now a piece of art, a piece of work that's out there for public consumption. So it's not mine anymore, it's not ours anymore, it belongs to all of us, it belongs to you, because you get to decide what it means to you, right? And I get to decide what it means to me. And what it means to me when I wrote it may not be the same thing that it means to me 5 years from now when I listen to it again. And so just like when for the first time that you hear it, it may be something very different to you 5 years from now. So yeah, I'm not to toot my own horn or anything, but apparently I'm a fan of my own songwriting. But no, I think, like I said, it's not a fun song. It's a good song. I really enjoy the song. It's probably my favorite song on the record. I'm really, really excited for you to hear the way that it came out on the record. It's single number 3. And so if you're watching this before the single drops, I'm stoked for you to hear it. If you're watching this after the single dropped, then I hope you'll go back and check it out again so that you can hear more. All right. Well, we'll talk to you very soon, and have a great night. Cheers.